and welcome to Cover Story. Today we have with us Karti Chidambaram. He is a two-term MP from Sivaganga in Tamil Nadu. He is a Congress leader. He is also someone whose politics I've been following for a while because his politics are issue-based. He of course talks about party politics, but he takes up issues of governance, of urban development, sports. He's a keen sportsman. So I'm going to be talking to him not just about party politics, but actually a general look at what is happening in our politics, about the state of Tamil Nadu, the impact of Donald Trump, India's bid to bring Olympics, and a little bit about economics also. So welcome to this conversation, Karti. It's very good to have you on NewsX and have you here. As I was saying, I like what you talk about, and a lot of it we see these days on social media. When we are researching someone, we look at social media. So I see your post. So I'm going to begin with the most immediate one, which is this India's bid for Olympics. I've seen you object to it. You called it a vanity project. Why?
See, I'm a keen sportsman. I love sports. Tennis is an integral part of my life.
Yeah, you're the Secretary General of the Indian Tennis Players Association.
But if you look at India's performance as a sporting nation, it's very, very mediocre. In fact, not even mediocre, it's actually poor. We don't have a sporting culture in our country. Only now we have some, semblance of excellence here and there. And an Olympics, first and foremost, is a very expensive proposition. And my biggest objection for conducting the Olympics in India is because you will create stadia infrastructure which we will never use afterwards. Our legacy usage of stadia is very, very poor. And those resources, in my opinion, if you really want to put it into sports, can be better spent. Our first and immediate goal should be to have a better Olympic performance. Our Olympic performance in Paris this year was pathetic. In fact, if you compare ourselves to a recently formed nation like Croatia, the entire 100-year history of India, the Olympic performance, is nothing compared to the performance of a country like Croatia, which is about 3 million people. So our first goal is to make sure that we are becoming a significant player in the international arena in terms of performance and in winnings. Only then we should aim to conduct some large-scale games like the Olympics. And historically, if you notice the countries which have hosted the Olympics, barring established first world countries, all other countries which have hosted the Olympics have gone into serious financial crisis post that. Be it Greece with the Athens Olympics or Brazil with the Rio Olympics. Because the kind of infrastructure, while infrastructure building is good, the infrastructure which you need to build for an Olympics will never be used post that. And even if you do an audit of all the stadia in India today, if you see the number of days we use the stadia for sporting use, it will be minimal. In fact, most of the time we are giving it out for weddings and other things, and in fact it's a total
or
disregard.
Comes and hosts an event.
Whatever happens there. So our legacy, our practice of using this infrastructure is very poor. Instead of that, let's put money into actually creating playing fields at the grassroots level. And most importantly, let's fan out this entire country with former sportsmen who can be talent spotters and coaches. You see, sports can't be just picked up on your own. You need technical coaching. And most people, unless you are in an urban area and with a little resources, you don't have access to qualified coaches when you pick up a sport at a grassroots level. So that's where our focus should be instead of this. And I personally think this is nothing but the vanity project of one or two people who I don't want to name, who think that that this is going to elevate Indian sport. It will not elevate Indian sport. In fact, it will create far more legacy issues than we can handle.
Okay, actually I do tend to agree with you a bit on that. But moving on, we've just a little bit about economics and governance issues, since I've seen that you take a lot of interest in that. We've just had a budget and we are going to be hitting another budget session soon. In terms of the middle class, in terms of what this government is doing for the salaried class, what is your take?
See, the two parts to that question of yours. First is, I think this fascination with the annual budget must stop. I mean, I think this drama about the annual budget, I know there are many television channels and newspapers which thrive on a build-up.
You come from the legacy of the dream budget.
Yeah, but I think it's time to move away from certain legacies. Some legacies must be moved on, and I don't think we should hold on to it forever. See, this idea of this budget being some sort of seminal event where you're giving such a big build-up and then a post-budget analysis must all stop. No mature economy requires tinkering on a yearly basis on minute taxation rates. First of all, if you really want to be a mature economy, a stable economy, which is going to give people a clear roadmap and a clear framework on how to conduct their businesses and personal life, you need to make the rules clear and not tinker with them on an annual basis. And this fascination with the budget, how this budget is going to somehow transform life because they mention a state or they mention one particular scheme, is all humbug. Why don't we take the speeches of the last 50 years? I mean, even if I say last 10 years, you'll immediately ask me, oh, what about our UPA legacy? Take those in. Look at all the grand announcements made in budgets and see whether they've actually been implemented or not. I mean, we as a nation we suffer from this condition called MAFA, which is mistaking articulation for action. I mean, we articulate the solution to every major problem, but do we actually do it? So look at every major scheme announced by every finance minister. I don't want to exclude anybody from this. And let's do an audit and tell me, I'm sure today with all kinds of AI tools, I mean, a very smart young person will be able to tell me what has happened in that scheme. They have announced, say, setting up of this kind of a training institute for a specific. Has it been set up? Have people been trained? Have they gotten jobs? If you look at it, it will be very, very poor. I think we should stop, in fact, I should say that we stop announcing new schemes. Let's stop announcing new schemes for 5 years and let's just implement what we have already announced. Let's allocate resources for what's been done instead of constantly announcing newer and newer things which will never see the light of day.
But isn't it like a political roadmap or manifesto?
It is not a political. And what is this roadmap? Every year you're giving a roadmap. I mean, you've got a mandate. This government has been there for 15 years. I mean, this government has come back again now with a mandate. Do we have a roadmap? They said there was some 100-day roadmap before they came to government. I have not heard about it. 100 days have long gone now. So what roadmap? How many roads? More than roadmaps, I want roads. Let's stop this roadmap business. Let's put roads. There are only 3 things we must focus on in this country: roads, wires, and pipes. Let's get these 3 things right before we talk about anything grand. I think when we are completely missing the point here. Our basic infrastructure and the basic ease of living is so complicated in this country. That's where the middle class is getting completely left behind. That's the daily struggle. I mean, the counter question can't be, what did you do as a Congress party? I'm not here to talk for the Congress party from 1947. I'm only saying what we should do. Go ahead. We should focus on basic things, and it's a local governance is very, very important. And these grand schemes must all stop, and we must stop announcing newer and newer grand schemes. So I really have no expectation from a budget. I mean, a tinkering of tax rates, or right now they said we are going to abolish capital gains on property. Then they went back on it. I mean, I think the budget must be an open document. You must put out the budget maybe months in advance, so gather feedback, gather public opinion, gather expert opinion, and then put that document out on the midnight on the website and be done with it. Why this song and dance and ceremony? I think we should do away with this. A government which wants to move away from the colonial past must actually start with this.
This is a government that believes in events. You already demolished 2 events, the Olympics and the budget.
I think we should get on to brass tacks instead of ceremony here. We suffer too much ceremony in this country.
Because there is a state government of which your party is a part of.
No, we are not part of. Let's be very, very clear. We don't even need to support it. They have a majority of their own. We are on electoral alliance with them. That's all. We are not a part of government. I mean, this is something which you should make it very clear. The Congress is not been part of any state government in Tamil Nadu since 1967.
Did you want to be a part of the state government?
Of course, we should be part of state government.
In this situation, if you would have pushed a bit more?
No. The Congress has missed many a bus. I mean, it's been more than a generation since we've been in government. We should be part of government. Why the whole basis why a political party exists is because it has to win seats and participate in government. If you don't want to participate in government, why even have a political party? The reason for the existence of any political party is to one day be in government, wholly or partly. And we have not had the opportunity in Tamil Nadu.
Be a part of a government where you are not in control is what I was trying to say. Is where you are
that will be the first step, because we have not been in government in any form or shape in Tamil Nadu. And the average congressman needs to have his say. And we've been part of winning electoral alliances in Tamil Nadu consistently, but we have never been part of government since 1967. I think that should change going forward.
Have your negotiators talked about that? Why they've not been able to convince DMK?
That I don't see. The argument always given is that the alliance partner has won an absolute majority, so they don't need to take anybody in. But that paradigm, according to me, doesn't hold good anymore. Even in the neighboring Andhra Pradesh, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu's TDP won an absolute majority, but they have still inducted the Jan Sena and the BJP into their government.
Even
Because
Modi
even
inducted.
Mr. Modi has done it. Even though when he had 303 seats, he even accommodated the Apna Dal into the government
Correct.
and the Akali Dal into the government, or the JDU at that point of
Paswan's
time,
party,
Paswan's party now. So this thing right now, at least they don't have an absolute majority. Even in the days when they had absolute majority, they have taken in pre-election partners into the government. But in Tamil Nadu, that's not happening, and I think that realization has happened to all political parties, and many political parties now in Tamil Nadu are stating that post-elections, if we had a pre-election alliance, that we must be accommodated into government. And I think the Congress, rightfully, if we are part of the winning alliance the next time around, the next election is 26, we should stake our proportionate share in government.
In your experience as a political analyst, how do you see single party government versus coalition governments?
See, I personally believe that coalition governments are intrinsically more democratic in an Indian setup. See, single party governance, most political parties are under a supreme leader, be it a regional party or a national party. I mean, they are either family controlled or under a supreme leader. And when in both the situations, people can't really voice out their opinions very freely and frankly, because there is something known as an unwritten code which you need to follow. But in a multi-party government, always there is scope for a minimum common minimum program, a debate, or a coordination committee, and all is there. So I believe that a coalition government intrinsically is far more democratic, be it in the state or in the center, and rather than a single party government.
But politically, is it more stable or not?
See, what is this stability? Every time we have a government fall, doesn't mean we have not gone into civil war. There has been now no civil strife in this country. So what if a government is short-lived? If there are contradictions and the government collapses, there will be elections again, or a new formation will happen. So what? So what's the big deal? Why are you? What is so abhorrent about it? I mean, just because we have had 12 years or 10 plus 1 years, it doesn't mean that everything is working all right and everything is honky-dory. I mean, so what if we had change in government ever so often, or change in leadership? I don't think that's necessarily bad. I mean, in that case, you could argue for a system like in Russia, where Putin is there forever. It's so stable. Is life good in Russia because of that?
No, but trains ran on time during the emergency, so there is something
These
to
are
be
all
said
myths.
on.
I mean, I don't think that, I mean, these are all people say that. I mean, everybody, some sort of has nostalgic views about totalitarian regimes, but I don't think there's anything nostalgic about anything totalitarian or dictatorial. And yes, democracy is a messy process, but so what? It's a much better process than anything else. And I think we should have clash of ideas, and a coalition is any day better than a single party government. And we shouldn't be fearing this idea that they're somehow unstable or no. So what? I mean, so many state governments are running as coalitions. They run their course. It's
But
only
big
question
ticket
of
reforms don't get done more often.
what big ticket reform has happened.
For instance, the nuclear deal would have held hostage by a coalition ally in terms of.
But that intrinsic debate is also necessary. You know, we can't have governments which do not listen to voices of dissent or an opposing point of view. I mean, we need to have these conversations, open conversations and debates. I mean, a government sans debate is no government at all.
Said. What about Congress party in Tamil Nadu? Where do you see the future of the party? Do you see ever the Congress party coming up when it is without the crutches of an ally DMK?
No, at the moment the future of the Congress party is not very bright in Tamil Nadu, unfortunately. There are newer entrants have come into the political fray. Regional parties, particularly one now recently founded by a very popular movie star. The space for the Congress is getting squeezed out. And as we are getting squeezed out, we are becoming more and more dependent on alliance partners to win seats. So at the moment, if we are going to continue the way we are, without articulating local issues and by only talking about quote unquote national issues, or only taking on the BJP. The BJP is not a major player in Tamil Nadu, and there will be no reason why a young person would ever join a Congress party in Tamil Nadu. They'll gravitate towards regional parties. So if you are going to continue doing business the way we are doing right now in Tamil Nadu, I'm afraid that we don't have a bright future at all in Tamil Nadu. We'll only be dependent on alliance, and a lucky few of us who have get tickets in the alliance will continue to win. But on our own, we won't be able to do anything. And no, we can't win a single seat in Tamil Nadu without an alliance, be it assembly or in parliament. That is the reality.
And the BJP is in the same boat as you?
No, BJP is not in the boat at all. I mean, they think they're in the boat, but they're not in the boat. The BJP, you have to understand, the narrative which the BJP propagates is roundly rejected by the people of Tamil Nadu. You have to understand that Tamil Nadu is the most Hindu of all Hindu states. We have more temples per square kilometer than anybody else. We break more coconuts than anybody else. So the BJP's brand of Hindutva doesn't sell in Tamil Nadu. And also the BJP's thrust of this, one that, which they have this, when they believe that unity in uniformity also doesn't gel well in Tamil Nadu. In fact, when newer political parties have come into the fray in Tamil Nadu, they'll even push the BJP even more out. The BJP is more out than the Congress in Tamil Nadu. So the BJP also doesn't have a bright immediate future in Tamil Nadu.
Okay, before we take a break, one quick question. If you were to advise your party leadership in Delhi about how what are the issues that people have to raise in Tamil Nadu?
No, they don't listen to me, so there's
They
no
don't
point in
listen to
giving
you.
them.
Maybe our viewers will listen to you.
They think I'm a bit of a maverick and an outlier. See, first and foremost, as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, yes, I respect the electoral alliance. Yes, we must be part of an electoral alliance. I'm not at all suggesting that we contest elections on our own, but we must be part of a formation. I completely agree with that. But post-elections, we must take up local issues. Just because we have supported a party to come into government and that party is in government doesn't mean we must be mute about local issues. Politics is all local and we must articulate our positions about local issues. Since we are not part of government, we don't have to defend the policies of government, and we must point out the deficiencies, the failings and the whatever issues which are there in the common people's mind. And the Congress party, until it starts doing that, it will not gain any kind of foothold, or it will not gain any kind of traction in Tamil Nadu, because there are newer and newer formations. There is a Tamil nationalism political party. Now there is an angry young man's new political party. So there is no space we are taking. Even when we come to the fact that you have as a nationalist or a national political party, there are two choices there, both not doing very well in Tamil Nadu. So unless we start articulating Tamil Nadu specific issues and pointing out the deficiencies and the failings of the government, there will be no traction for the Congress party. And further, we must also do away with this bloated, organizational structure we have. If you go to any Tamil Nadu, you will have about 50 vice presidents, 100 general secretaries, 200 joint secretaries. In fact, I always joke, if one vice president can name all his other 50 vice president colleagues, I'll quit the party. Not one person knows them. See, this is just this appointing office bearers for the sake of appointing office bearers who have no authority, who have no responsibility also. It is better to appoint constituency-specific people who have the potential to be MLAs in the constituency, to be responsible for the constituency, and then maybe if in the alliance we get the ticket, give the ticket to them. So instead of this bloated organizational structure without talking local issues, nothing will dramatically change. If there are two things need to change, these two things need to change, but I'm not sure whether they will in the immediate future.
Okay, so basically what you're saying, identity politics that goes beyond visiting cards and local issues.
Local issues is most important, and you need to have office bearers who will articulate positions of the common people very strongly, and they're identified. So if you have a very large organizational structure with so many vice presidents and so many general secretaries and joint secretaries, who nobody even knows what their role is. So what is the role of a vice president in Tamil Nadu? Nobody knows. Nobody even knows the names of, I'm a member of parliament. I can't name all the vice presidents in Tamil Nadu. I don't know all the general secretaries. I don't know all the joint secretaries. And we have so many wings in the party. Each wing has its own office bearer. What do these wings do? I mean, we need to rationalize all that. Even the DMK, which is the premier political party in Tamil Nadu, has only 14 state level office bearers. 14. Including the party president who's the chief minister. They have only 14 people. Whereas here, we have hundreds of people as state level office bearers, which has really no meaning at all. And unless you trim that and appoint constituency level people and make sure that appointment has happened by taking into the inputs of the Congress worker in that constituency. I think we must go back to a system of some sort of I'm not saying like primaries in the American sense, but at least a constituency level active party worker feedback mechanism which appoints that office bearer in that constituency. And we should really focus on constituency level activity rather than these bloated infrastructure on a state level basis.
That is something Rahul Gandhi first talked about. So something you and he agree on. I want to come back to another thing which maybe you and he agree on is he wrote an article recently on the New Deal. So the economic ideology, to say, want of a better word, of the Congress party is something I'm going to be talking to him about, but after a very quick break. Hello and welcome back to our cover story conversation. I have with me Congress leader Karti Chidambaram. Karti, we were talking about Tamil Nadu before the break, but just to come back, shift to national politics. How do you see, Rahul Gandhi recently tried to correct his position, I think, that article he wrote on the New Deal. Your reaction to that, and
I completely agree and endorse what he has written in that article. I mean, I know
what
it
is he trying to say?
and I know it riled up a few people by when he quoted history by saying that the East India Company had a free run towards the Indian subcontinent because there were many people who collaborated with the East India Company, and that's an historical fact. And he didn't name anybody specifically, but then there were a couple of people who got riled up by it. So be it. But what I think Rahul Gandhi has written was completely correct, and I think he's also clearly said that he is not anti-business, he's pro-business, he's pro-free market, and the only thing he's against is monopolistic concentration of power, which is right. In a mature country, in a free market, you can't have a monopolistic concentration of power, and you are very clearly seeing that there are business houses which are so closely aligned to the government of the day here, who seem to get a free pass in any sector they want to go to. Nowhere in the world will one business house be allowed to have such a diverse portfolio of investments, right from power transmission to ports to airports, to container terminals, to almost into every serious infrastructural sector of this country. I mean, in fact, I jokingly said that all you need to do is to, I mean, no, let's not get, I hope I don't get served a legal notice for saying this, that if one of the grandkids is kidnapped, you can bring the entire infrastructure of India to a grinding halt. In fact, if anybody needs a serious SPG cover, it's that family which needs SPG cover, because they control the levers of the economy in a far greater level than anybody has ever done in the history of India. So this concentration of economic clout and authority into the hands of a very few is what Mr. Rahul Gandhi is opposing, and I completely support his position on that.
But Rahul Gandhi of late has, do you think he needed to get this out on the table? Because the image is that Rahul Gandhi is anti-business, big business, not just monopolies.
No,
he's more into the
because
NGO
he's been vehement
of,
about pointing out about the cozy relationship between the government and one business house. And this was somehow being spun into saying that he's not pro-business. I think it's good that he clarified it. He's always been pro-business. Congress is the party of reform. Congress is the party which brought about the economic liberalization in 91 when Mr. Narasimha Rao was Prime Minister and when Mr. Dr. Manmohan Singh was Finance Minister. We are the natural party of reform. We are the free market party. In fact, the BJP is not free market. Every time somebody tells me the BJP is right-wing, I laugh. The BJP is not right-wing. They don't believe in individual freedom. They don't believe in small government. They believe in a collective. They're everything against what the classic right-wing propagates. In fact, the BJP is nothing but Ayatollah Hindutva. They are just a collective. They want everything to be collectivized. They want the collective is greater than the individual. That is their view of society. So they are not free market. They are not right-wing at all.
As opposed to the Congress. What is Congress?
Congress is so confused. A large trend. The Congress is an evolving, I agree. Yes. The Congress is an omnibus large trend. I agree. I mean, people who are like me, I consider myself a globalist. I consider myself liberal. But I'm at home in the Congress. Yes, the Congress has people who are socialists as well. The Congress is a centrist party. It sort of encompasses the complexities of India, and it takes a middle path. It takes a middle path. The Congress is centrist.
You know what happens to people who walk in the middle of the road?
If there are potholes on all sides, we have to walk in the middle of the road. What do we do? I know that you think you will get struck down if you walk in the middle of the road. But there are potholes on both sides, so you have to walk in the middle. We have nothing else to do.
But here it's an age of labels. So everybody wants a definite stand. What does the Congress stand for? What does Rahul Gandhi stand for?
Congress stands for a free market. It stands for a pluralistic society. It stands for the rule of law. And that's what, and Congress stands for the values enshrined in our constitution. Okay, if you have to define the Congress, define us as a constitutionalist party. We are the constitutionalist party of India. If that's the definition you want to give us, you give us that definition. Define us as constitutionalists.
Which brings us to socialist secular. In terms of secular, what is, the Congress party didn't go to Ayodhya. Then they say we are for Hinduism. What kind of...
So the whole point, I am a temple going, astrology believing, ritualistic Hindu.
Coconut breaker.
Coconut breaking and ritualistic Hindu. I mean, I wear more talismans than anybody even cares to count. But the point is how you can't define my faith or my spiritualism because I didn't go to a particular place of worship. I mean, that's the beauty of Hinduism. It has got millions of places of worship. In fact, most people who worship their family deity or their native god in their village. This is not some Abrahamic faith where if you do not go to this temple or to this ritual, you're not part of it. You can't excommunicate anybody. That's the beauty of Hinduism. And that's where we oppose the BJP. The BJP is trying to make us into create some sort of a Abrahamic catechism for Hinduism. That's not the way Hinduism is. I mean, and the area I come from, animal sacrifice is a prevalent practice in the faith, but that will be completely opposed to the vegetarian Sanskritized Hindutva which propagated by the BJP. I mean, there are Hindus who do animal sacrifice. There are Hindus who go to certain temples who worship certain gods. And if somebody chooses not to go to a place of worship, does not mean he's demeaning the faith or is questioning the faith or insulting the faith in any manner or form. So this BJP's narrative of this uniformed Hindu code or Hindu practice is itself I roundly reject it.
The people of India seem to be...
No, that's again mistake. What is this people of India? I mean, is there a uniform? You had a referendum and what all people of India from Kanyakumari to Kashmir.
Every 5 years यही तो होता है.
They are winning in a parliamentary democracy in a multi-party system with 30%, 33% vote. You can win a majority. You get to win a disproportionate number of seats to the vote share you get in the first past the post system. I mean, it's very clear. I mean, how many votes did the BJP have in 2019? They had 60% of seats in parliament. They did not get 60% of votes in country. In fact, another fairer method would be to actually have a proportional representation in this country, because parties which sometimes score reasonable amount of votes as a percentage don't get reflected in the number of seats. So in the first past the post system is to say that they have some sort of mandate to do everything, and whatever they are saying is the truth and is the accepted norm is not acceptable at all.
You call yourself a maverick. I'll call you a disruptor. I think you just...
Possibly. I mean, the point is, I think you have to be a free thinker, and I consider myself a free thinker. I'm not saying I'm a right thinker. I'm definitely a free thinker. I change my mind about a lot of things. And I think anybody who doesn't change their mind is unthinking. So I change my mind about lots of things, and it's always in a process of evolution.
Good to have you here. Before I let you go, I have also noticed that, I don't know whether it's a recent thing, but you're doing a lot of Wordle these days.
No, I do Wordle
not very well. What is your strategy? I think your average is, I think, on the 4th try you get it.
Yeah. I do Wordle every day. It's a morning habit for me. As soon as I wake up, I do the Wordle. It's a habit I've never broken. I've done it for more than a year. And it also riles up certain trolls in Twitter. So I do it. I also post it only to rile them up. It's about sometimes 3, sometimes 4. But I normally start off with 2-3 keywords where I try to pick the vowels.
I want to ask you, is it vowels or is it...
I like to try to pick the vowels up first. Once I pick the vowels up, I go through. There are 3-4 words which give you a good clue. Audio, edu, and all these words give you the clues of the vowels. Once I get that, I go there. But I like to do it. But the reason I post it on Twitter is because it riles up a few people, because there are a couple of guys, I don't know where they're from because they're anonymous. You have time to do Wordle, you don't have time to do this. I mean, anybody who says that doesn't understand that Wordle takes maximum 3 minutes to do. So it's a good habit. I mean, I like doing it. It's some sort of a routine which I follow every single day. I enjoy it.
But you like, how do I say, giving it back, calling it as it is.
Absolutely.
I've seen that pinned tweet that we'll talk about it another time. But you do like calling out the
trolls. Of course,
I
think, social media is also, because it's anonymous, it's given people a license to say whatever they want to say. And I don't need to take it all. And I have the right to defend my reputation and give it back. And so I give it back. I mean, I know this. Once I put out a tweet saying what's on Netflix when the election results was going bad for the Congress. They still hold it against me saying, when the Congress was doing badly, this guy wanted to watch Netflix. They didn't understand the sarcasm or the self-deprecating humor. Now, whenever they throw this Netflix at me, I tell them I prefer Apple TV.
That will have its own ramifications. But on that note, thank you so much for this conversation. Hope to get you back again.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Thank you. That's it for this week. Thank you for watching this show.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.